Division. It's supposed to be the Destiny killer. I'm not really seeing it. I will compare Destiny Day 1 to Division Day 1. Okay. So, as far as core gameplay, you get offered, you know, pretty much a very similar variety of enemies. Nothing really too crazy as far as that goes. They're bullet spongy. They do a decent amount of damage. You know, that sort of gameplay. You do these missions to get loot, which betters your chances of doing these higher level things. You gain levels, etc. Now here is one of the problems. The loot variety in Division I think was a lot better. Level 8 looked a lot better than level 1. Level 20 looked a lot better than level 8. In this game, you look basically the same all the way throughout. Level 30 does not look any different than level 1. Appearance items is pretty much primarily what changes your look. Seems like you can pretty much use appearance items at any level, you just have to find them. If you want to look really cool like military gear, you have to pay $5 for it. It's Day 1 DLC. The Day 1 DLC is really ridiculous. There's a season pass for $40, and then there is the 2 appearance things, $5 each. They give you like 4 outfits. Now that's my first complaint. Level 20 to level 30, I believe that's when you fight the faction of the last battalion. They're military geared guys. It would have been really cool if when you killed them, you actually get to use that equipment, or like have that as your appearance. You can't. It's behind a paywall. So, loot-wise, the point goes to Destiny. Things to do at launch. Destiny had matchmaking, and it also had raids, which is pretty essential to an MMO style game, you'd think. The Division does not. It does not have raids at the moment. You have to buy them. You have to wait for a DLC. So the 8-player raids they were promising, it's coming. It's coming. I think that's ridiculous. Right now, all there is just playing the game up until level 30, and there you go. That's it. That is your game. Okay. But you're probably saying, well, it does have like a PvP thing as the Dark Zone. Let me explain how the Dark Zone is in actuality. It seems that their balancing issues, or like their balancing techniques, or whatever you want to say, weren't really ironed out. They didn't really balance anything appropriately. So I've seen level 30s, some just take like a billion shots, and then other ones just go out in one shot. I guess you could argue that that's like a skill thing, but overall it's just balancing issues. I think what would have really helped the Dark Zone, because when I'm in the Dark Zone I either see nobody, or I see level 30s camping out the entrance, shooting you with a sniper rifle before you fully load in. Like you always pop up in the same spot, so they could just have their crosshair set up there and, you know, do what they need to do. What would have been really cool is that in the Dark Zone, what I originally thought was going to happen was you would lose your loot when you die, and that the gear there is actually worth being there for. The gear is pretty decent, but there's actually something called private slots where you actually randomly keep 3 pieces of your loot that you really can't control. It's just 3 pieces. You could either get really lucky with that, or you could get really fucked over with that. So now being a rogue is like less interesting, like, because already you don't really get any sort of benefit for going rogue. You become a target for one. You might get some good gear from the person, but you might not. So there is a risk reward. But for the most part, you get more XP for killing a rogue than you do killing people as a rogue. So, or surviving being a rogue, like not getting killed. So there's that. What's probably going to happen, which I've already seen happen, especially in this video, where you go into the Dark Zone and get sniped by level 30s, that level 30s are going to go to the lower area Dark Zones, which lets you see what area it is. It would be like level 5 to 10 or whatever. Actually, I think it's more like 5 to 8 or 10 to 12, something like that. So they're going to go to those areas and just start killing people and like ruining their fun. So going to the Dark Zone is completely pointless, especially since you can get better gear outside of it. So what really should have happened was similar to what Destiny did. Their matchmaking, they would sink the level down, unless you're an Iron Baron, but for the most part they'll sink the level down, and the only thing that really held weight was your core stats of the weapon. Not damage, but like accuracy, fire rate, etc. This game actually has that as well. So it's not like it would be too hard for them to do. It could be a simple patch. So if you were level 30 and you go down to the level 12 area, you would be synced down to level 12 as far as your DPS and your damage, but your weapon stats as far as accuracy, fire rate could stay the same. There you go. So now you have an incentive to get the better gear, but now you could also help out your low level friend in getting gear in the Dark Zone and have fun and like get them into the game. That's cool. Now here's where it makes sense to level up. You being a level 10 will not be able to go to like a level 20 area because you haven't unlocked level 20, so you're not going to get synced up, you only get synced down. Right there, I just fixed a major flaw in the game. I think the Dark Zone is pretty irrelevant right now. I feel like it was like a gimmick to make the E3 look cool, but that's really not what's happening. Okay, map size. I really didn't explore much of Destiny's map. I really kind of just did matchmaking all the way up to like the top level, and then I might have did a raid. I don't really remember. I didn't really do much in that game, to be honest, but I have friends that told me all about it and all that stuff. I just wasn't into Destiny, to be honest, so don't think that I'm a fanboy of Destiny, and that's why I hate Division. But I played a decent amount of the Division. I didn't, unfortunately, capture all of that footage. I'm gonna probably upload my Twitch where I played with my friend. But like in the Division, just walking up to the AI, like the AI is just not intelligent enough. You could literally walk around and shoot them. They're only trained to attack or be aggressive when you're in cover and when you're reloading. Overall, you could just walk through the whole game and just Terminator, shoot them like style, and just basically blow right past the game. I guess if I was to give it a number, I would probably say like a 4.5 out of 10. I mean, at the game in its current state, there's really nothing to it. You got like the single player experience, which you can play through, get to level 30, and then maybe get some loot, whatever, but there's really no end game right now. It's just the main game, you know. They're holding so much back for DLC. If you buy it now, you're going to be stuck buying that DLC just to enjoy the rest of the game. Like, raids should not be DLC for an MMO game. Like, it shouldn't. Like, that's the main part of it. Destiny at least included that. I mean, Destiny did hold back a lot of things, but they still included some elements of the core game. This did not. I recommend waiting for them to do their Taken King idea in probably like a year or two, which you know they're going to because all MMOs do that. And when you buy that, I guarantee you'll be boosted up to level 30 so you can enjoy the DLC content, because that also helps generate sales, and then you'll play from 30 to 40 with your friends, doing raids and doing all the cool stuff that you were probably expecting. There's a survival mode that'll be added too, which sounds like horde mode, which is exactly what we need, more of just shooting abundance of enemies. Yeah, I really just can't recommend this game in its current state, man. I really can't. It really pushed me to make my first review. I was always talking about reviewing games. I just never got around to it, but this game, I mean, Ubisoft themselves prevent people from reviewing it, like the critics from reviewing it on day one, like as if they knew that their game was inadequate. Look at user scores. User scores are telling you the story. I mean, I don't even think it got to a 7 on anything yet. Like it's a joke. 4.5 out of 10. That's my final. Just wait. You know, a really hard wait on this game. I mean, it's really just not interesting. They don't do anything creative. It's very stagnant. It's repetitive. The loot's not interesting. It's a shoot and loot. That's not interesting. How the fuck do you even do that? Like, I understand the setting kind of holds them back in some ways, but not that far back. I mean, it's almost like, imagine if you had the starting loot in Destiny all the way throughout. No one would play it. No one would want the end gear. People are always talking about the end gear in Destiny, like all these cool sounding guns and stuff. What are they going to talk about in the Division that they want to get? Oh man, I just got this purple beanie. Oh man, I just got this brand new M4. Ooh, I got this mod that gives me like plus 10% DPS. Ooh, I mean, what? Like what? What are you doing? Why are you playing it? Especially when there's no endgame. Why are you playing it right now? If you enjoy it, that's awesome. I just don't see much to enjoy for $60. Thankfully, I rented it. I knew that there was going to be problems with this game. I wasn't necessarily looking for them. I was hoping that Ubisoft was turning around, but they did not, man. They really did. So, well, that's my review. 4.5. Let me know what you think, And that's really it. I'm done here. I'm done with the Division.